The year is 1781. After a long and grueling war, America has finally won their independence against the British, which was previously stated in the Declaration of Independence in 1776. Now, the average viewer might be wondering, why in the world are you talking about the Revolutionary War? And that's simply because if it wasn't for the sacrifice of these soldiers, we wouldn't have the freedom to create games like Call of Duty in 2003. But over in California, a little game called Roblox was starting to grow, allowing players to go off and create their own games, limiting only their imagination and whatever the block game engine can handle. In 2008, Treyarch decided to test trial and ultimately create a new game mode called Zombies. It wasn't anything too complex, just wanted to try something out. And in the meantime, Roblox was starting to pick up traction.
Pants. And pen. Roblox brings you pants. Roblox brings you pants.
15 years later, the year is now 2023. COD is now bigger than ever. That little stupid Zombies mode earlier, where you just collect points? Yeah, now that the very thing that's holding the series together. Even reset the whole goddamn timeline and merged them, making every game series, Modern Warfare, Advanced Warfare, all that. Black Ops? Yep, they're all canon now. Roblox, sorry, the name's now Big Balls Incorporated. Company is larger than ever. Not Minecraft big, of course, but certainly huge. With the community now bigger than ever, that only meant creativity is largely increased as well. Some hood classics like Meep City, Arsenal, and Obby, but you're a bird. I know some pretty crazy stuff, but there was not a specific category that these creators were limited to. Whatever someone wanted to create, they simply could, as long as they abided by the rules, which you just, little loosey with everything. I'm looking at you specifically, Neighborhood Wars, but a good chunk of these talented creators were also COD Zombies fans by chance. It also meant that they were able to give their own crack and spin at the typical, Zombies formula that everybody loves so much, which is what this video is going to be talking about. Just a little side note to everyone, I do know my way around Zombies. I alone have 300 plus hours on Zombies alone on the PC for just Black Ops 3. As a shock to anyone that doesn't live under a rock, not every game is going to be a home run, especially on Roblox. Just go watch Donkey's video if you need proof of that. But I'm going to mostly go over the well done and polished games. There's a lot of them. Switching up Zombies is going to bring you down some pretty deep rabbit holes. The list I have, time of writing this, is Recoil Zombies, Project Lazarus, Recoil Resurrection, and then MMC Zombie Projects. And those are the only ones that I can remember from a first glance. There's probably a lot more, but not for this video discussion. There's no going to be particular order, like best to worst or whatever, just, whatever I find first comes first. Recoil Zombies is the highest played Zombies game on the site, with at least 1,000 players or more playing at a time. The game is rather lackluster in terms of smoothness and, just general gameplay of it. To put it bluntly, there are 5 maps, that being Michael's Peril, Lighthouse, Giant, Nocturne, Totem, and one window challenge. All these maps except for the Giant and Noct are completely original, which gotta give props to the devs. They're all generally small and compact maps, like those you would find on World at War, like with Verrucht. There are a very limited number of guns in this game, most of them being World War II era, like the M1 Garand, 1911, Thompson, whatever. Might also be a possibility that my luck sucks, but I've played this for like 5 hours since release, not at once. I've gotten the Wonder Weapon like once or twice during my entire time ever trying this game out. So I never really got to try it out, but I just saw the ray gun and the Wonder Waff, I think, a couple times. But there were some modern weapons sprinkled in there, so it can make the gunplay feel kind of inconsistent. Probably just an issue with the Roblox engine, but a majority of the time the guns and zombies would feel out of sync with each other, like a lag, if that makes sense. Like you'd shoot the zombie and they die, but it feels like something was missing. Same thing goes with the general input delay. It takes way too long for the game to register when I actually press the button. It says press and hold, and I actually have to hold it for like 3 seconds sometimes for it to work, and that makes just generally walking around a actual danger. Other than the gameplay itself, the UI and designs are really, really well done, especially for Roblox standards. Just the little things like the intro menu having a camera that tracks the mouse, the little dialogue that scrolls at the top of each map. Passage towards this game is very clear in the menu, and the layering screen, which I enjoy since it's the M1 main menu with like Mason chair. Overall, this game is enjoyable to start for anyone that wants to get into Roblox if you're looking for a specific itch, but nothing too outstanding here. We'll just totally made up by everything else. Now, Project Lazarus is the next one, and I'm pretty sure it's the oldest, and let future me decide if that's true. This game stinks a lot, and for several reasons. The game has one map, janky controls and animation, and this next reason makes my blood boil. For some silly ass reason, you cannot make your own lobby. Like if you want to join the lobby, it just drops you into whatever the game they're doing, and you can't make a private unless you're gonna pay like V-Bucks. I mean, Robux. Every single time I've tried to get into the game, I'm in a round 20 lobby with only a pistol of 5,000 points. Now, people that don't know anything about zombies might say, wow, 5,000, that sounds like a lot. But no, it's not. Especially at round 20. Perks are like essential, and I could buy like 1 or 2 perks at most, and that leaves me with only money for a box. And the zombies themselves are pretty basic and mundane. It's like 2007 OG Roblox design for the zombies. I feel like I'm dogging too much on this game since it's literally made by one person, but it just isn't that good, or at least feels very lacking in substance. I don't know if there were plans to make more maps or whatever the plan was, but with only one map, lackluster and stuff, it's pretty just a really hollow game. But since it's a pretty hollow game, which is pretty ironic since it's pretty cram-packed with lobbies of people. Yeah. Side note, you can have at least 10 people in a lobby at once in this game, which I wish more people had, since 4 players can make a game feel pretty empty. But this game has a lot to get improved on, and is probably just a mark of not really trying to do too hard. Also doesn't help that there's literally microtransactions within this game, which is pretty goddamn silly. Recoil Zombies is a fascinating game to talk about, probably because it's the most Call of Duty-like within the entire game, even down to being a separate game mode to the bigger multiplayer. To start off, this game looks great, like just flat out. All the textures and maps are really well designed, or at least they try and go for the realistic models, so the ditches, the typical Roblox blockiness that you'll find in basically every other game here. Something that this game does differently is something that's been only tried in Extraction, like Call of Duty Ghosts, and that's different classes. Every player can choose between the different classes, total amount coming to 5. One of them being like a microtransaction, sadly, but to be expected. And of course, each of them have their own separate perks, no abilities or anything like that. Like in Cold War, one issue I have is that there are no original maps here. It's just 3 maps basically ported over. It's Nacht, Kino, and Barak. One more issue I have with this thing is the poor state. And I'm not talking about the player base, I'm talking about how buggy it is. A lot of times I'll get hit by something I can't even see. The zombies just won't spawn in after like 5 minutes or so, which is, sad, since the game has been out for 3 years and it seems that it's still in the alpha stage, which I don't think it's getting out anytime soon. This game does look like it has a lot of potential. Now, Resurrections is the most underrated game on this list by a mile. What's the most I've seen playing this game at once is 80 players. At first, I didn't think too much of it going in, since the low player count and all, so I'm like, you know what, why not try it? Never judge a book by its cover, because this was the best game I've ever played on this list, especially since it was made by a single person. This game aims to recreate old and classic Roblox maps, but reshapes/designs them into becoming actual horror-themed zombies, Call of Duty Zombies maps. It works well. They made a map based on the OG diner from Transit, which was awesome. And the second was a recreation of the classic haunted house map that you'd find on most horror Roblox games. It's not only the map design that works well, everything else about this game is clearly delivered with a level of passion. The menu and AI are smooth, easy to understand. Zombies are a zombified version of those, old standard Roblox AI that you used to find. Surprisingly enough, there are no bugs, like at all. I didn't find any. Everything worked just fine, no errors, no delays, no how to place textures or anything like that. Everything felt responsive, have a nice level of detail. That is found with most big budget teams on Roblox. The weapon chase here is good, especially for the setting. It's a modern mix of classic BO1 and BO2 weapons. I never got my hands on any one of the weapons, sadly, but I did see the ray gun a couple of times within rotation. And honestly, if you've never heard or have played this game, I think it looks fun. I cannot recommend enough to go and try this game. The creator deserves all the support they got. Shout out to John Zombie Tower, the creator of this masterpiece. MMC Zombies Project is honestly quite bare bones and boring. And it's quite confusing. This game's been around for 7 years and only has 4 maps, and half of those maps are just straight up ripped out of other games. Nocturne Tone and Kill House, which is from Modern Warfare. The other 2 are original, but not very good and also very cramped. There are only 4 perks I saw, which are just, the typical forward speed, cola, quick revive, double tap jug. And all the maps are World War II, energetic or flashy. This feels like there's going to be a lot more implemented, but, the game page itself says that it's no longer maintained. So I don't think there's going to be anything else added to this game at this point, which is weird since it's one of the most popular Zombies clones. Over 100 million visits, which puts it top 3 in this entire list. Only second to Recoil Zombies, of course, but there isn't much else to say about this game other than it's quite underwhelming. Ranking the games, with 5 games under this title, I'm going to give 5th place to Project Lazarus. There's only 1 map, and you can't start your own lobbies without paying for a goddamn server. 4th place goes to MMC Zombie Projects. Even though it is bare bones, you can start your own game and there are more than 1 map. 3rd place goes to Recoil. There's a lot of potential for this game, but with all the bugs and no original maps, it's going to have to stay this low. 2nd place is going to go to Recoil Zombies, without a doubt. A really good game on this list. It has the most original maps, and I'll give it credit for that, but nothing's beating Resurrection. It is so close to perfect, but sadly, there's only 2 maps on here. I would give it a 10 out of 10 if I was giving it a rating system, which I'm not. If there were more maps, this would probably be my most favorite game on Roblox, to be fair. Now, to conclude it all, I actually have no idea how long this video is going to be. Apparently, when I look at the script, it is, over 3,000 words or something like that. But yeah, out of place video, I know. Roblox and Call of Duty Zombies doesn't really seem on brand with, comics or whatever, especially with all that, but I tried Mortal Kombat, so why not try this? Roblox isn't really that bad, just comes off as childish due to what is popular, like Meep City, so I don't blame most people for thinking that, but just figured that over my 10 years of playing video games, these 2 have been probably the most consistent games I've played throughout my years. And that's all I have for today. Hope you have a good day.